Welcome back to America Decides. The Trump administration is, as promised, carrying out immigration raids conducted by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and other federal agencies. Yesterday, the federal government reported 956 arrests, the most recorded in a single day since President Trump returned to the White House. Jeremy Robbins joins us now. He is the executive director of the American Immigration Council. Jeremy, it's good to have you with us. What would you say is your assessment thus far of these enforcement actions by ICE and other federal agencies and the potential effect they will have on the U.S. economy?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for having me, Major. These actions are causing a lot of fear, and they're causing a lot of chaos. Everyone agrees we need to take control of our immigration system. We need to figure out, enforce our laws, make sure that we're keeping criminals off the street. But if you look at the sum total of the actions that President Trump has put in so far, these are not actions that are directed solely at criminals. These are actions that are directed at people who are trying to do things the right way. If you look at the border, about how we had a policy that one of the things that President Biden had put in place was something called CBP-1. We didn't want, instead of having people cross between ports of entry, we wanted a system where people could register, make an appointment, show up at a port of entry, and apply for asylum, and that was removed on day one. Going into communities now, we're hearing reports of people going into schools. People are feared about going into churches. It's going to cause a huge amount of fear and disruption, and that's going to mean people aren't going to show up at work. They're not going to participate in communities. They're not going to report crimes to the police, and that's going to have huge impacts, especially economic impacts.
Jeremy, I want to have you listen to an exchange between Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation and the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, about some of the issues you just raised. Control and play that, please.
If you had a violent murderer in a school, of course I want law enforcement to go and get that person out.
Of course.
So what's the point of the question?
You changed the regulation this week. That's the point of the question.
Exactly.
Giving the authority to go into churches and go into schools.
We empowered law enforcement to enforce the law everywhere to protect Americans.
Effect, a chilling effect, arguably, to people to not send their kids to school.
I desperately hope it has a chilling effect on illegal immigrants coming into our country.
You think the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops are actively hiding criminals from
I think the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has frankly not been a good partner in common sense immigration enforcement that the American people voted for. And I hope, again, as a devout Catholic, that they'll do better.
Jeremy, your reaction?
Look, I think one of the things that's clear is we need to enforce our criminal laws. We need to keep our community safe. But as noted in the questions, that's not what's happening here. There was a memo under the Biden administration about enforcement priorities that stated that they were going to prioritize going after violent criminals. That memo was rescinded on day one. This is a whole of country effect. The new regulations that are in place, the new executive orders that came down, the fears, the claims that this is an invasion, these are not focused on violent criminals. They're not focused on our border. They apply equally in Alaska and Hawaii for the regulations that came in on as if there's an invasion in Alaska or Hawaii. These are dragnet impacts that are striking a huge amount of fear, especially into undocumented immigrants, the majority of whom have been here for more than 10 years, the vast majority of whom are working, who are community members. More than 5 million U.S. children have at least one undocumented parent.
Jeremy, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, referred to his hope that this would have a chilling effect on illegal immigrants heading toward the United States. Last week, I came across a couple of stories about farm workers not showing up to work in the Central Valley of California. They're here, they're working, and concerns that the agriculture industry has there about a lack of available labor.
Look, I think one thing that was clear over the last 4 years is that the price of groceries has gone up tremendously, and that is hitting every single American. Half of our fruits and vegetables come from California. If you cannot get the workers to show up and that people are staying home because they're afraid, that is going to devastate our $100 billion agriculture industry. And that impacts the Americans who work in that industry. It impacts people who are working in shipping, who are working in trucking, at the ports, who are doing exports of agricultural goods. And it impacts every American at the grocery store. And that's true not just in agriculture, but immigrants are working in every single industry in the economy. You think about our housing crisis, and if we can't get roofers and you can't get workers to show up to build, that's only going to exacerbate and act as fuel on the fire of our housing crisis.
Jeremy Robbins, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me, Major.